All right, so here we go. So it looks like the Techmarine will be taking something very special with him on the battlefield, and it looks like existing operations might be adjusted for our new class. Plus, the community update this month about, yes, update 12 isn't apparently the only exciting thing happening this month. There's also one thing that Saber can't reveal right now, and they explained why, but is it really for the better? Also, has the PTS been canceled, or what in the world is going on with it? Well, we've got some brand new critical updates about that one straight from the dev team, and the community puts together some wild stratagem ideas, but will Saber ever actually implement these in the game? Well, we've got a lot to go over in this video, but you know what? Check this out right here. So guys, I recently discovered this unique game called Dragon Traveler, which is a free-to-play role-playing game that features some really unique gameplay, including a story full of comedy and classic RPG elements. And a huge thanks to Dragon Traveler for sponsoring this video, by the way. And in Dragon Traveler, you'll go on adventures as you collect rewards, develop your characters, and progress through the games of various stages. You can also acquire mythical level characters and compete in PvP matches too. And what I really like about this game is how casual or in-depth you can play it. In fact, clearing stages and climbing towers can be automated, allowing you to enjoy the game in your spare time, which is really cool. Not only this, but your hero can literally transform into a dragon and join battles, and the combat system is very detailed, with various buffs influencing your team and affecting combat. You can summon skills including effects such as interrupts, stuns, taunts, pursuits, enhancements, and debuffs, which add tons of strategy to each battle. And it goes even deeper than this, because the game has a friend system including guilds, guild exploration, and yes, even guild boss raids. So join me now and click on the link in the description below to download Dragon Traveler, and you can earn up to 100 summons on the first day, and through the game's mini events earn a total of 30,000 diamonds and up to 1,000 summons. So click on that link to download today, and a huge thanks to Dragon Traveler for supporting my channel. All right, so first of all, let's dive into what Saber isn't willing to reveal just yet. Then we're going to get into the news about the Techmarine, what they're bringing to the battlefield, and a bunch of other really cool stuff coming up here regarding new information. So we're going to start out with this question right here on the official Discord. So check it out. Hi, I have a question. Considering that patch 11 was released on November 25th, and that patches 12 and 13 are expected to be released in the first quarter of 2026, according to the roadmap, shouldn't patch 12 be coming sometime in late January or early February? Please excuse my curiosity, but I recall that we usually received notifications about upcoming updates outside of community updates. Now, we did get a reply from the community management team as they go on to say this right here. Sister Hylia says this: all I can say is we don't have a precise release date yet, which is definitely a bummer, but it was further explained. We also avoid announcing release dates too soon in case there is a delay. We know our players adore when there is a delay, so they're not going to make any promises they cannot keep. But I do have some good news for those of you that don't want to wait clear until patch 12 to play some new content. And this is where the PTS news comes into play here. So what in the world is going on with the PTS? Well, that leads us into this question here. Hi, Sister Halia. Quick question, is the PTS for patch 12 still planned? Well, that's a great question because we haven't heard much about anything regarding, of course, the PTS lately. Thankfully, we got this response right here. Well, I haven't heard of a change of plans, so I guess yes. Now, Sister Hylia also clarified, let me just say, you'll have PTS news before a release date. So now we're going to assume by all of this that at the very least, we would be playing the PTS, I would think, either by the end of January or in early February, perhaps, while we patiently wait for the Techmarine's arrival with update 12. Also, when can we expect the next community update, which is referring to, of course, the blog post which we get? We know they usually drop at the end of each month, but we just got more of a precise date here, as confirmed again by Sister Hylia, who says the community update is planned for the 29th. So circle that on your calendar. And if you miss it, don't worry. I will have that community update and a recap about that right here on the channel. So don't miss it. Turn on notifications. And if you're new, smack that subscribe button. But interestingly, it looks like this isn't the only updates we'll be getting from the dev team this month, as stated here. The community update isn't even the most exciting thing this month, to be honest. But there's one thing I am personally mostly excited about learning about this month, and it's also about the new PvE content, especially when it comes to new operations. And guess what? It looks like we'll be learning a thing or two about that very, very soon. As confirmed here, I'll try to compile info on the new PvE mission for the upcoming community update. And honestly, I cannot wait to see this new operation. Keep rolling out the brand new operations because we're getting a huge library now of operations to rotate through. Now, this is where things get quite interesting, and it's all about the Techmarine because, as I said earlier in the video, yes, they will be bringing something onto the battlefield. The thread starts here with this. Techmarine specialize in repairing tanks and war machines, which would be really cool, by the way, if we saw some tanks and war machines on the battlefield. But they say this, with there being no armored warfare, what is the need for a Techmarine class? And we did get a response from the community team with Musalip saying this, good question. You will see that they bring a new thing with them, winking smiley face. Now, the discussion didn't stop there, it kept going, as we were presented with this bit of info right here. They've already revealed part of what the Techmarine can do, which prompted a reply from the original poster saying, well, remind me. And apparently Techmarines will have some surprises as stated right here. They can fix tarantula turrets to fight with the Marines, plus they'll have hidden interactions in certain missions. And our community manager also chimed into the discussion saying this, hopefully I'll be able to show you the tarantulas this month. Thumbs up. Hell yes. I cannot wait to see this in action. Now, a really important note about this, by the way, this was also officially confirmed by the dev team in their blog post previously. But if you're thinking you'll be able to plop down a turret anywhere on like any type of map, it doesn't seem to be that it will work that way. This was discussed out on Reddit as well. So the turrets thing is written very specifically. He can repair existing turrets that spawn on PvE maps. I think that this means that when a Techmarine drops, the operations maps will be updated to have fixed turrets and locations during the run, and you could use an ability to repair and activate them. It doesn't sound like he will be able to spawn turrets at any location. I think that's going to be the correct assessment right there. And yes, now we have to talk about the notorious bolt weapons once again, because yet again, it seems like the community isn't all too happy about them, and there might actually be some really good math to back this up. If we head on over to the official Space Marine 2 subreddit, we're met with this post right here. I knew bolt weapon body shots sucked, but I didn't know the math was this bad. This guy did the math, and it would take 72 shots from a bolt rifle to kill a warrior with only body shots. That's ludicrous. It is a tantamount to just missing. That's half of your ammo for one enemy. With heroic plasma incinerator, it takes roughly 4 body shots to kill a Majoris, and it can vaporize groups so you can kill up to 4 at a time. In my experience, shooting the face brings it down to 3 shots, so you have far better ammo, economy, and wave control with literally no downsides. Bolt weapons still don't excel at anything in any meaningful way. Even the heroic bolt sniper, the only good bolt weapon, is still worse than any heavy weapon, even if you never miss, because it can only handle 1 target at a time, and hip firing is essentially throwing your ammo away. Consistency matters, and all bolt weapons are very inconsistent, despite in the lore, they are the most versatile and dependable weapons. So yeah, give me your opinion right now. How are you feeling about the bolt weapons, considering that, yeah, we've seen them update them and buff them in various ways several times through updates. So how are you feeling with how they sit right now in the game? Now, this also did prompt a lot of opinions and replies, including this one right here. Completely agree. I can't fathom how they're okay with the damage of all the bolters in the game. They can't hold a candle to any of the other weapon types. So yeah, do you guys use any of the bolt weapons at all? Yeah, I just personally use them all the time because they really do remind me of games like Gears of War, the Rustic. They feel like they really do belong here in the Warhammer 40K universe, even though they might be underpowered versus other weapons. But it does seem like some of you actually do use bolt weapons, as highlighted in this post. Love it or hate it, the devs balance bolt weapons on hitting headshots. I personally don't have an issue with Tyranids. Their heads are huge. Now, Rubric Marines and Chaos Spawns are another story. I still find I can successfully complete hard strats against them with bolt weapons, though. It's just not as easy. And someone actually brought up the Division 2 here, which, stick with me, this gets interesting. You all should try the Division 2 if you want some real BS. They are the kings of bullet sponge enemies. Now, this brings up a whole other discussion. The Division is actually introducing a realism mode into the game, which gets rid of the bullet sponge nature of enemies, and even headshots are now one-shot kill in this mode. Begs the question here, would you ultimately like to see a sort of realism mode in Space Marine 2, where perhaps you take more damage, but also dish it out more realistically without the bullet spongy nature of enemies right now? Perhaps they could do this in like a survival type mode. I don't know, maybe it could work, but let me know your opinion on this one. And we've also got some opinions about stratagems, which I have a personal love-hate relationship with some of them, but I do think that it does add more replayability to the game. It just depends on which stratagem combination you do get, of course. The fun factor either goes up or down. But yeah, check this thread out right here. What are your stratagem ideas? This is really your opportunity to sound off in the comments down below, because we do know the dev team is always interested in adding new variations. So check it out. Totally not a focused developer on alternative account looking for ideas, but here now is your chance to rant or open up a dialogue about dream stratagem ideas. What are your stratagem ideas? I got a few. Inverted Gyros says this: a stratagem that swaps the buttons for your melee and ranged attacks, including parry and reload, also swaps weapons on your hands. That one sounds wild. Then we have Chaos Incursion. Your characters are now swapped with their PvP Chaos Marine counterparts. Vanguard is now a World Eater, and Heavy is now an Iron Warrior. PvP dialogues are included, and Acheron or Titus are absent from the mission. Chaos Marines versus Tyranids, Thousand Suns. Now, I don't know. I think GW Workshop would probably not even allow that. And then we have Thousand Suns Combat Patrol. Every enemy is now a Zangar, and spawns are tripled. Enlightened Zangars included. No Chaos Spawn, and no Sorcerers, and no Hellbrutes, only Zangars. Do you guys like that idea or not? I do like the idea of having different varied enemy types on the map. Either it be like you see a bunch of Majoris enemies or more sub-bosses. Now, I really do love that. Mentioning bosses, we have this one, Boss Rush. This one is stolen, but I like it, so I'm going to add it in here. All extremis enemies and below are removed. Now each spawn point has a 50% chance of spawning 1 to 3 Terminus level enemies for you and the gang to fight. This could maybe be modified to include the Winged Tyranid Primes and the Vortex Beast for extra spice. Now that one I absolutely love. I think that one would be especially really popular. Now we also got some replies about this, getting more than 50 accolades over the normal for busting my ass on the most insane modifiers on the hard stratagem. 150 for a cakewalk and 200 for a shit show. Hard should award 300. A lot of you guys agree with that one. Let me know if you do or not. But yeah, now it's time to get into your top comments. You know what to do. Leave a comment down below. It could end up right here in a future video. So let's find out what you guys had to say. Starting out with this one right here. The little PvP arena on the battle bar should be repurposed to a training hall where you can spawn all the enemies to train against them. I personally absolutely love this idea. I'm not too sure how many of you guys use that battle bar's arena room for PvP, but I think a lot more of you probably would use it if it was for facing off against waves of enemies, test out your perks, weapon combinations, and maybe even just like goof off with friends while you wait around for another friend to kind of mess around with his loadout. Yeah, I think that would actually work really, really great. And honestly, I think it would be better than having a PvP arena on the battle bars. Next up, we have this one. Probably unlikely, but make the battle bars into a community hub. We've heard this idea many times. Seeing other battle brothers and join them on missions, etc. I love the idea, but I'll be honest with you guys, I don't think it will happen in Space Marine 2. But if it did happen, it would probably be in Space Marine 3. And we need a new mission about reclaiming one of the 500 worlds. And there is so much they could do with this. Now, officially, The creative director said in a past interview that the possibilities for the Space Marine franchise are pretty much endless. It's an open book. They could do whatever they want within, of course, the lore and everything like that, keeping that intact. But it would be really, really cool if this could kind of be literal, a true in-game type experience. So it's kind of like infinite in a way. But yeah, they could do a lot with that. So anyways, that's it for all the latest news and updates around Space Marine 2. As always, thank you guys so much for the love and support on the videos. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. So yes, as always, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you all next time. Take care.